Welcome. Today we're diving into the new digital workforce. It's a world filled with software that can do our jobs, but here's the thing. Not all of this software is created equal. We're going to break down the two main players, the bots that just follow the rules and the brains that actually solve problems. So let's get right to it. Imagine you're in charge and you have to make a choice on automation. Option one is going to cost you about $600,000 in the first year. Option two, 200,000. What on earth is the difference? What are you really getting, or maybe not getting, for that extra 400 grand? Well, it all boils down to this one simple idea. Are you hiring a digital worker that just follows a super strict set of instructions, no questions asked? Or are you hiring one that can actually think, adapt, and work towards a goal? Like a real human colleague would. Okay, first up, let's meet our digital clerk. This is robotic process automation, or RPA for short. Now, this has been the workhorse of automation for years, and its whole job is to be incredibly specific. Think of RPA as a software robot that you teach to do a task by just copying you. It literally watches where you click, it sees what you type, and then it mimics those exact actions perfectly, thousands of times. But it has no idea why it's doing it. It only knows the script it was given, and that's it. So here's where you can really see the difference side by side. On the left, you've got your digital clerk, the RPA bot. It follows instructions, it repeats tasks, and it has to have perfectly clean, structured data. On the right, you've got the smart colleague, the AI agent. It works towards a goal, it solves problems, it can handle messy data, and it actually makes decisions. Two totally different jobs. This is basically how an RPA bot's brain works. And really, it's not thinking at all. It's just executing a super simple sequence. Open this, copy that, paste here, repeat. And it will do this flawlessly as long as absolutely nothing changes, not a single pixel. So, what happens when the digital clerk's perfect little world gets a bit messy? Because let's be real, in the real world, things always change. And this is where the story takes a really interesting and expensive turn. Take a look at this budget. You'd think most of your cash goes into buying and setting up the bot, right? Nope. The shocking truth is that for a lot of companies, a massive 75% of their entire RPA budget gets eaten up by maintenance and fixing the bots every time they break. You see, the RPA bot's greatest strength, following rules with perfect precision, is also its biggest weakness. We call it brittle. If a web designer moves a button just 2 inches to the left, the bot is lost. If an invoice shows up as a scanned PDF instead of a clean spreadsheet, the bot just sees garbage, and then it breaks. But what if your digital worker wasn't just a clerk? What if it was more like a smart colleague? One that could think for itself, adapt, and even learn from its mistakes. Well, this brings us to the next big thing, agentic AI. So just remember this key point. The entire foundation of our digital clerk is that it follows a pre-written script, step by step. And here it is. This is the single biggest difference in the entire game. An AI agent doesn't follow a script, it follows a goal. An AI agent is a completely different animal. It's an autonomous system. That means it can see its surroundings, like reading an email, it can reason about what it's seeing, and then it can take action on its own to hit that goal. No need for a human to hold its hand through every single step. All right, we've talked a lot about concepts, but how do these two digital workers actually stack up when we put them to the test on real, everyday business problems? Let's look at the numbers. This number right here really says it all. When you're dealing with the messy, unstructured stuff that businesses actually run on, invoices with different layouts, contracts with weird clauses, AI agents are 40% more accurate than RPA bots. That's a huge drop in errors that your team doesn't have to go back and fix by hand. This chart breaks down exactly where each one shines. Yeah, sure, for simple, clean data entry, RPA does okay, but look at the rest of the pie. Understanding messy data, making decisions based on context, and adapting to change, that's where AI agents totally dominate. They own the complex, high-value work. And this brings us right back to that very first question we asked, that 3 times price difference, $600,000 versus $200,000 in the first year. It's driven by all those hidden maintenance and setup costs for RPA. The tool that looks cheaper on paper can end up being way more expensive in reality. So after all that, is it time to fire our digital clerk? Is RPA totally obsolete? Not at all. In fact, the smartest companies aren't choosing one over the other. They're building a digital dream team. This is the number one question people ask. I mean, with AI agents being this powerful, is there any point in keeping RPA around? And the answer is a definite no, but its role as a solo act is over. The data is pretty clear. When you deploy RPA bots all by themselves without any AI intelligence, they fail a staggering 30 to 50% of the time. Think about that. Up to half the time, they just don't work. They need a smarter partner. And that partnership has a name: Intelligent Process Automation, or IPA. This is the hybrid model, and it's brilliant. The AI agent acts as the strategic brain. It thinks, it reads, it decides what to do. Then it tells the RPA bot, which acts as the hands, to do the simple, repetitive clicking and typing. So here's how that dream team works in real life. Step 1, the AI brain reads a messy customer email and figures out what they want. Step 2, it decides the right thing to do and pulls out the key info. Step 3, it hands that clean data off to the RPA hands to punch it into some old clunky system. And step 4, the AI brain makes sure the job got done and even notifies the customer. Brains and hands working together perfectly. Okay, let's bring it all home. What's the one big thing you need to remember from all of this? It really just comes down to this one question. The next time you look at a problem in your business, just ask yourself, does this thing just need a pair of fast, tireless hands to do the same simple task over and over? Or does it need a brain that can actually think, adapt, and solve the real problem? Knowing the difference, that's the key to building a truly intelligent digital workforce.